Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the Professor's Picks here on this Friday, alongside, what's his name again?
Ken Golden.
The Professor of Prague is here. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, how are you? Are we gonna get Luis Nasser jumping in?
You never know.
That was great. You gotta put that up, man. You gotta post it.
Did he? I mean, folks obviously haven't seen the show yet, so they don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, did he say he did not want it posted, or he doesn't care?
No, he didn't say anything. I don't think he said anything.
All right. I may post that because it's a cool blooper. Anyway, folks, wondering what we're talking about, stay tuned here on the channel. A fun blooper that happened while we were taping in the Prague seat the other night. So we'll get to that. Anyway, I'm sure you got lots of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, there's stuff. There's stuff. It's not like a wild week, but I got some stuff to talk about.
Okay, cool. All right. Let me bring to the table here.
Yeah, so let's get the pre-orders out of the way. The Jethro Tull Christmas album, Fresh Snow at Christmas. So we've got two versions. This is the 4-CD Blu-ray media book, and there is a 2 LP black vinyl. Oh, I jumped the gun there. All right. So I'm going to read this so people know exactly what's in this thing. Jethro Tull ringing the holiday season with the Jethro Tull Christmas album Fresh Snow Christmas Edition on December 6th. Originally released back in 2003, the album's been newly remixed from the original tapes by Bruce Sword with the Pineapple Thief and will be available as a limited edition 4-CD Blu-ray box set, featuring the brand new mixes as well as the original ones across 2 CDs. The set also features Christmas Live at St. Bride's 2008, newly remixed, as well as over 40 minutes of unreleased recordings from her previous performance at St. Bride's in 2006 by the Ian Anderson Band. Both of these shows were in aid of homeless charities. The Blu-ray includes Dolby Atmos 5.1 surround sound and higher resolution 2444 stereo mixes of the Jethro Tull Christmas album, as well as high-resolution 2444 stereo mixes of Christmas Live at St. Bride's 2008, all packaged in a hardcover book set with brand new artwork and liner notes. I couldn't possibly remember any of that, so apologies.
So that basically will sit on the shelf next to all the other Jethro Tull box sets, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm very careful with something like this. I'm very careful with how many I bring in because we're not selling too many of them in June. April sales for this, not so great, and I don't want to have a stack of them sitting around here, collecting dust until Christmas 2025. So yeah. So that's why I'm setting it up for pre-order. You want it, order it early so we get it in the right amount, and you'll have it. And so you'll have it in time for Christmas.
So you mentioned Bruce Sword. Yesterday I reviewed the new Pure Reason Revolution, right? And I mentioned that he plays on it and whatnot, and then I started talking about the music and how it reminded me of his band and another band, and I said either Porcupine Thief or Pineapple Tree, one or the other, and totally got the two Porcupine Tree and Pineapple Tree mixed up. Didn't even realize that. I see all these people in the comments section, and I'm like, did I really say that? I was like, okay, I guess I did. So
let me tell you something, Pete. You got it right. Because from my perspective, especially if you listen to Pineapple Thief early on, that was blatant Porcupine Tree worship.
Early, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, have I ever revealed this to the public that I saw Pineapple Thief at it was at Ross Fest. I fell asleep and I woke up with a big bead of drool running down my cheek onto my shirt. I was out cold during the Pineapple Thief. I'm sorry, Bruce, but your show bored the shit out of me. So that was just boring. And I just woke up. I was like, "Oh my God, what?" Like an hour of my life was gone, and it's just this big ball of drool. Just oh my God, man. Anyway, so
if there's anybody out there watching who was at that Ross Fest and has a picture of Ken sitting in a puddle of his own drool, please let us know.
Please post it. Send it to me. Well, of course, somebody's going to comment and say, "I was at that show, man. That was the best show I've ever seen."
Of course.
Yeah, of course. So this is a last-minute one I decided to put up for pre-order. Marillion, This Strange Engine. It's a 4-CD Blu-ray, and there's also a 4 LP box set. and it includes the unreleased 1997 live show from Grand Rapids. So, yeah. Now we're on to the regular stuff. You hear Jim coming down the stairs. Oh, there's the Jethro Tull. They're out of order. Okay. Regular stuff. Black Elephant. Have you gotten this yet?
No.
Pete?
No.
It's called The Fall of the Gods. I'm not, I kind of like stoner rock. That's not like my thing, and I don't dig too deep into it. This was phenomenal.
Their last album is really, really good.
Oh man, this is on Small Stone. They're like Italian psychedelic fuzz rock. These guys are like just a total monster. It's like Jimi Hendrix in outer space.
Yeah. Save one for me, please.
Yes.
Put one aside for me.
The guitarist, they're an Italian band. I don't know the guitarist name. That guy's like riding the wah-wah pedal to Mars. I mean, it's great, really great. Okay, what's the next?
Yeah, that Small Stone has a lot of great. I mean, there's between Small Stone and Heavy Psych Sounds and a couple other labels, man. It's just like
all coming from Italy, no?
Italy, Germany. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of good ones here in the States. Yeah, I mean,
like I was on to like Electro Hash, years and years ago. All the bands on that label. I was into all of that stuff. And,
Ripple Music's got a lot of great bands too, and Stickman. I mean, it's great. Blues Funeral Recordings. They've got some really great bands.
In fact, Stickman has a new white. Is that how I pronounce it? White. Yeah, they have a new one coming.
Vita. That's with the guy from
Elder.
Yeah, Vita. I think is how it's pronounced. Vita.
There you go. Anyway, if you like that whole stoner psychedelic thing, Black Elephant, brutal, great. Next thing, this just showed up this morning, so I'm not gonna sound brilliant when I tell you. This is their third album, Norwegian band. Got kind of like I have listened through it. I made one pass through it. It's sort of modern sounding, but it's got a lot of old school keyboards. You hear a lot of organ and stuff. I call it like symphonic neo-prog, but it's got kind of like a kind of weird quality to it. It's a concept album about a man's disillusionment with religion. Starts out with like a 20-minute track, followed by a 22-minute track, and then multi-part, smaller parts. The way I was hearing it, I said, like, if Pain of Salvation made like a straight-up prog rock album with no metal, it might sound something like this. It's got like a quirkiness to it. It's very good. I know we sold their previous one of their previous ones. So let's see. Now we got two from Iommi. These are reissues. You know a lot about these. I know what I read on Wikipedia. So
yeah. So the depth sessions were basically. That was the first time that Tony Iommi and Glenn Hughes had got back into the studio together since Glenn was in Black Sabbath for the 7 Star album. So these guys in '96 went in. They cut a couple tracks in the studio. They weren't even intending on releasing them, but I think the story goes that somehow they got leaked and they wound up on the internet. So they were basically like, all right, well, we might as well officially put it out. And everybody loved it. So it became like something of, a lot of interest here in seeing these two guys together, and so they actually went and did a full-fledged album, and that's the Fused album together, and just high energy, hard rock metal with both guys in top form. I think if you like the 7 Star album, and here obviously Glenn is clean, off drugs and everything like that, so he's sounding amazing, and Tony sounds great. So yeah, both highly recommended. I think they each come with some bonus tracks, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think some bonus tracks. So yeah, I think it was Fused. They talked about the drummer. They replaced the drummer. I think it was way back. I think it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
Something happened. The guy was up for like sex charges. The original drummer, so they re-recorded the drum. Yeah, whatever. Hey, look, it's Tony Iommi and Glenn Hughes. What could be bad? Right?
Yeah.
So I asked. Everybody said, "Oh no, those albums are great." So here we go.
They are.
Okay. Richie Kotzen, Nomad. So I don't know a lot about Richie Kotzen. I mean, I know he's a great guitar player. He was in Winery Dogs. He's got an extensive solo career. I haven't listened to this. So you a Richie Kotzen?
The last thing he did was that 5-album set that he did when he turned 50. That's very good. It's probably a little more music than anybody needed in one set. But Richie's a great guitar player. He's a really good singer. His stuff is, I mean, if you like Winery Dogs, you'll dig it. It's funky. It's rocking. There's lots of blazing guitar work and it's lots of shredding. But more importantly, there's like a nice mix of pop and blues and R&B and funk and hard rock all kind of blended together. I haven't heard this either, but I'm sure it's great because everything he's done has been pretty damn good.
Yeah, like in the hype, they're talking about like jazz rock and stuff, but I don't know. I haven't heard it, so I really don't know. All right, next. This is a great one. This came out some time ago. I had a hard time getting it. Osamu Kajima, Benzaitan, 1976. I'm doing that from memory. I could be wrong. Could have been a little earlier. Kind of odd that this actually came out in the U.S. on the Island Antilles sub-label. Sort of like, the best way to describe him is it's almost like a Japanese version of Mike Oldfield, playing a multi-instrumentalist, but there's a lot of people playing on it. Proggy, very psychedelic, a lot of ethnic instrumentation, long tracks. It's pretty cool stuff, you know. And it's funny because it was one of those albums that you always used to see used in the bins. It's going for a lot of money now, and he has later albums that got a little slicker as the years went on. But occasionally, if you're digging, if you're crate digging, you'll come across an Osamu album, and depending on the year, it could be worth grabbing. Benzaitan's a great one, so really good album. Okay, this one I should have grabbed to read everybody that's on this thing. Michael Shanker, My Years with UFO 50th Anniversary Celebration. Can you give me one second? Let me just grab one off the shelf.
Yeah. So basically, everybody, what this is, Michael went into the studio with a whole bunch of different singers and musicians just doing remakes of a lot of the songs that he recorded over the years with UFO. So if you ever wanted to hear classic UFO tracks sung by people other than Phil Mogg, that's basically what this is all about.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to go tell you who's on. I'll just tell you who some of the people on here: D. Snyder, Joel Hoekstra, Joey Tempest from Europe, Roger Glover, Jolene Turner, Carmen Appice, Slash is on here, Biff Byford from Saxon, Axl Rose is on here, Jeff Scott Soto, John Norum, Kai Hansen from Gamma Ray, Adrian Vandenberg's on here, more Carmen Appice, Michael Yoss. Who's Michael Yoss? I don't know. And
Michael Voss, probably.
Michael Voss.
He's worked with Shanker before.
Yeah, my eyes are going. And Stephen Piercy from Anthony's favorite band. So yeah, it's kind of cool.
I've heard good things about it. I may get it just out of curiosity's sake, but part of me is like wondering, okay, well, none of these versions are going to be better than the original. So like it'll be one of those listen once or twice and then never pull out again. So.
He's got a good band. He's got Derek Sherrini on keyboards, Brian Tichy on drums, and Barry Sparks on bass.
Yeah.
So
I'm probably Did you bring in a lot of those?
Yeah, I got a nice quantity of them. And
put one aside for me if you would.
Sure.
I'm curious because I love Shanker, and
He's
great.
I
said, I may listen to it once or twice and never again, but that's okay.
He's one guitarist I'm sorry I never got to see.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, he's great live. Still really good live. I would say if he comes around again, you should go. He's really good show. He still plays a lot of old UFO classics.
Man, you know what was a great album? You'll be surprised that I tell you it's in my collection. That first Michael Shanker group album.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. That was with Lost Horizons, if I remember. It's amazing. That was a great album. So yeah. I'm sorry. I was a big '70s Scorpions fan. Love Scorpions from that time period. And, it's great stuff. So and UFO when he was in UFO. So I lost track of him really when he started a solo career. So all right. This is a good one. You would love this. This is a new, well, they're not so new, actually. This band is their fifth album, and I came across them. They're a Swedish prog metal band called Seventh Dimension, Hopes and Ordeals. They have a new singer, okay? It's because they're all new to me, because I've never heard them before. But the guy's very good. They have like a symphonic element to them, you know, clearly like a little, like a Dream Theater thing going on, but you also get a little bit of like Yes, and maybe even like a Symphony X thing going on. Very, very good. Let's see. Sinner's Blood, Chilean melodic metal. They reference Symphony X, Primal Fear, Master Plan, and Evergrey.
Wow.
That's a pretty broad net, right?
Yeah, it is. And I saw the cover and I was like, okay, power metal, maybe not.
Yeah, well, and Frontiers, you know, it's got the look of a Frontiers release, right? Very good vocalist. Made a big deal about the vocalist, comparing him to Russell Allen and all. The guy's good. Got a little bit of a hint of an accent, but no, it's good and not too bad. And they also the guitarist is a guy called Nason, Nasson, singular name, and he's like a producer down there, guitarist, and he put out a solo album that we sold at one point. Okay, Windrose, Troll Slayer. What do you think this sounds like?
Gee, I wonder.
They are you ready for this? They're an Italian dwarf power metal band.
I've never heard of such a thing. Dwarf power metal.
I didn't realize that the dwarf community was so into power metal that they have their own subgenre, but apparently they do. It seems that from what I read, this band has over 500,000 followers on TikTok.
Wow. All right, then.
It's a little silly to me, but more power to them, man. So, Italian dwarf power metal. That's what they called it. That's what
I'm assuming all their songs have to do with dwarves and trolls and things like that.
I mean, look at the cover. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know. All right. Now we're getting into restocks. I only had 2 restocks this week. And I'm treating this as a restock. We haven't had this in quite a while. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. It's in one of my Desert Island discs. It's by Far Out, Nihojin. So this was Fumio Miyashita, and they were sort of like a in a sense like a precursor to Fari's Family Band. 2 sidelong tracks, kind of like almost all instrumental, but not quite. There are some vocals, like on the first side it's called Too Many People. Second side is Nihojin, and on Too Many People there's a little bit of vocals, and then it just gets this unbelievably intense psychedelic guitar. There's electric sitar on the album, your favorite. Kind of like, but it's got this heaviness to it, this melancholy, it's just this tension, and just keeps building. It's like if Black Sabbath had recorded Echoes, it might sound like this, you know. It's one of I own an original vinyl. Is the rarest album I own in my collection, and one of the best albums I own in my collection. I love this record so much, it's painful. Next thing, this has been out of stock for quite a while. Jordan Rudess' Permission to Fly. I guess there was a big demand for it. We sold out of it, and we didn't have it back until the other day. So that's it for restocks. I'll hit. And one other thing I should mention also before I get into the vinyl, and it does cover the vinyl as well. For years, we've been carrying reissues on Long Hair Music, German label, actually a French label, specializing in German prog, 70s prog, doing a lot of stuff from like the Brain label. Then they started going into British bands as well. The owner of the company has retired, and the label is basically folding. We got essentially the last copies of what's available. The distributors has been cleaned out, and so it's kind of done. So we restocked what we could. I set up a strip on the front of the site. I had very small quantities, like on the vinyl, like 2s and 3s, CDs, not much more. Stuff's expensive, first-rate quality, fantastic stuff. If you're into 70s German prog, don't sleep on these because I can't get them back. When they're gone, they're gone. All right, now just hit some of the vinyl. The 2 albums by Epitaph, self-titled, and Stop, Look, and Listen, early German hard rock with progressive overtones. Very good records, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Fresh Maggots. Fresh Maggots is a rare English folk album that came out on RCA. And the cool thing about this album is it's got like crazy fuzz guitar all over the album. So it's not like a straight ahead folk album. Beautiful female vocals and a guy wailing away on fuzz guitar. It's quite good and quite rare. Pattern Seeking Animals, Prehensile Tales, 2 LP, yellow and orange vinyl. It was released on Inside Out. It went out of print, and now another label has picked it up for the reissue. And last but not least, the great first album from Satin Whale. We were selling that set of the studio albums from Satin Whale. This is the first and by far the best album they did. I kind of liken them in a very broad sense to maybe what Grobschnitt was doing early on. It's not like symphonic, but it's real heavy, like heavy organ. There's some flute and sax, guitar, great stuff. And you're digging it, right?
Yeah, I have it. I have the set. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
really
the first 2 albums, Desert Places, fantastic. Second one, Lost Mankind, really good. Not quite as good as Desert Places. This is the one to have. So we've got that. And I have showing up today for next week. We have a big shipment coming in from the UK. You might see the return of some cheap shit in there. And also on the horizon, they got some really cool stuff coming back from Norway, some reissues, some of those rare Norwegian stuff. Some cool titles in there. So waiting for that. And you never know what else is going to show up. That's what we got.
Cool. A lot of good things there. So.
Yeah. It was starting out as a slow week, but it just kind of picked up steam.
Cool. So, of course, lasercd.com is the URL. We'll have that pinned down below in the comments, as well as the full list of all of this stuff that Ken showed and talked about today. So you guys can go and do your copy and paste thing, because we know how popular that is, right? People love lists. You ever notice that? People just love lists.
They do love lists.
We love lists too. I mean, so what would we do on this channel if we weren't doing lists, right? It's just like
there wouldn't be a channel.
There wouldn't be a channel, right? It's all about the list.
This is our last StreamYard episode.
Yes, so this is our last StreamYard video on the channel. This is it. As of tomorrow, it's going away. And you may be asking, Pete, why is it going away? Well, because they raised my rates $20 additional a month, and I'm not paying it because I'm paying for Zoom and for StreamYard. And quite frankly, I don't need to be paying close to $50 a month to use StreamYard just so we have this very nice ability to showcase images. There's got to be a better way to do it on Zoom. And plus, as we've talked about, I'm not crazy about the audio on StreamYard, although I think the picture quality is really good. So, so we'll be 100% on Zoom once again, starting tomorrow.
So next week, I'll sound better. I won't look as good. I won't be as handsome.
Yeah. And he'll be doing using the Prezi thing or something similar.
Probably.
So anyway, the world goes on. Unless StreamYard comes to their senses, because I really wonder how many people who were on the subscription level that I've been on that all of a sudden got a $20 per month increase, and they were like, "Screw this, I'm not doing it." So,
it'll be like Sirius. Like when you cancel Sirius, and then all of a sudden they come back to you begging you for like $5.
Yeah, I fully anticipate that will happen. Right now, they have like a little pop-up that comes on the screen every time I log in that says, you have 1 day left. You sure you don't want to stay? And I'm like, I'm not even answering. I'm like, I already told you no twice. So we'll see. Next week, I'll be getting that email. It's like, so how about $32.99 a month? It's like, well, then we'll talk. But
for sure.
So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. We'll see you next week here on the Professor's Picks. Happy shopping, everybody. Remember,
Buy a lot, buy often.
There you go. That's the motto. And have a good weekend, everybody. We got coming up tonight. Don't forget, 4 Fusion Friday happening tonight. UK Connection tomorrow, and ranking the albums on Sunday. So lots happening this weekend. So don't miss any of it. And we'll see you next week here. For Ken Golden, I'm Pete Pardo. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.
Take care.